What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below as it's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. And as always, thank you for hitting the like button for us down below. Also, I will have a special guest appearance for you guys at the end of this video. I also have a special guest appearance crawling up here right now. Hi. Yeah, this is baby Snowy. What would you like to say here on this Easter weekend? Would you like to say anything? Yeah, we want to say happy Easter weekend to you. God bless, and we hope that your Easter weekend is going fabulous for you. Let me know what you guys are doing for Easter this weekend. And as I said, God bless you, and we hope that everything is going peacefully for you this weekend. And I'll have a special guest for you at the end of this video as well. And we'll have some more guest appearances for you throughout this weekend. Okay, there is a potential 32-hour work week coming to the United States. I actually mentioned it in a previous video and didn't get to it, and we'll get to it here in this video. But yeah, that is correct. It is being considered on the federal level and on the state level in California. There's a bill on both the federal level and the state level in California. And what this would do is workers would get paid for the full week, a 5-day work week, 40 hours, and only have to work for 4 days, 32 hours, but yet still get paid for a full week. That's right. And we have a California congresswoman here talking about the California bill, but it has also been introduced on the federal level as well. So you'll hear her talking about it here. Let me know your thoughts on this. And this has actually been officially done in other countries around the world. So this is not just a dream, just like student loan forgiveness is not just a dream. It has been done here in the United States. $11.5 billion of student loan forgiveness was done last year. Billions of dollars of student loan forgiveness has been done this year. And just like people thought that that type of stuff would never happen, just like stimulus checks, the government just giving out checks to stimulate the economy, like that, people thought that that type of thing would never happen. Obviously, that's happened 3 times already just this pandemic alone. And this could potentially happen as well. I don't know if it will, but here's the details on this. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments.
Their jobs at record rates, the state's legislature is debating a bill that would cut down a 40-hour work week to just 32 hours. Let's bring in a sponsor of that bill. We've got Cristina Garcia, California State Assembly member. We've also got our very own Danny Romero joining in on the conversation. It is great to talk to you today. Walk me through the thesis first. Why is a 4-day work week the answer?
As we have seen with the Great Resignation, over 47 million employees have left their jobs for better opportunities. And as we are transitioning back, employees are making it clear that returning to normal or what we had before is not good enough. And they want better benefits as far as free time and flexibility to do more of what they love and have better mental and emotional health out there. And so this is the time to have this discussion with individuals. Companies are already experimenting with this, and they're seeing better productivity. They're not seeing labor shortages. They're not seeing attrition. And so we have examples. This is the moment to have this discussion. Employees are making it clear that they want better.
Assembly member, it's Danny here. So I was taking a look at your bill, and it's for non-union companies. What about the union side? Would that take another bill to implement and help those workers? What is the idea on that?
The reality is that this bill is the floor and not the ceiling, and our unions often have fought for better opportunities and better benefits for employees. So I would gather that as they are negotiating contracts, this will be on the table and part of their negotiations out there. And so they have been great advocates here in the state for our employees. And if this becomes a reality, I imagine that this would just be the floor and not the ceiling for their negotiations.
I imagine you've gotten a number of a lot of pushback from the business community, the California Chamber of Commerce coming out and saying the overtime costs that would be associated with this kind of shift would be untenable. How do you respond to that?
Well, I would say that the situation they're in right now is untenable. Over 60% of employers are dealing with a labor shortage that has led to lots of losses, them having to close earlier or not open at all. And so they could continue to complain about this, or they could learn to adapt, which is what employees are telling them in mass numbers out there. Companies who are adapting already are doing better. There are companies out there who are doing this. It's not all of the business community that has said no to this. This is the time to adapt, and everyone's going to be better off. People's bottom lines are going to be better off if we adapt sooner than later.
And Assemblymember, it's Danny here again. So how does this differ from the federal bill that was proposed by California Representative Mark Takano?
So big fan of the bill that he introduced, but as we're seeing the gridlock in Washington, California has always prided itself with leading. And so we do take inspiration from Mr. Takano's work, but we are just starting someplace and inviting stakeholders to the table to figure out those details of how this works. There's a lot of similarities there with Mr. Takano's bill. But, I think for us, this is just a starting point. We welcome stakeholders. That have been some good questions about how this would work. And we're early in the process. We just started the legislative year. We are year round. And so we do take inspiration from Mr. Takano's bill, not identical. And as the bill moves, we'll see where we land.
Hey, it's Brian Chung here. I want to ask about how this impacts the tech space, which obviously is very prevalent in your state. How do you think this impacts them? Because obviously, assessing hours and the enforcement of this might be easier for those lower wage kind of hourly workers. But for those that are salaried, how would you enforce what is often the case in the tech space, which is, working way more than 40 hours a week?
So this bill is limited to just hourly employees, but a lot of the tech industry is already pushing for 4 days a week and are trying to make it work out there. And they're actually leading and innovating here in the state of California as well. And so we welcome that discussion. We just put on a flag knowing that this will not cover everybody, but if we start someplace, we expect this to trickle down to all of our other employees as well and all of our other businesses.
And Assemblymember, just to wrap it up here, it's Danny again. I wanted to shift gears a little bit and talk about California's gas tax. The governor proposed just last month the gas tax. I went through that bill and I actually saw some blank parts in that. And there was not a specific rebate amount in that bill or the ceiling amount for eligible vehicles. Why is it that there's not really a clear cut when it comes to this bill that a lot of Californians are really anticipating?
Well, there's 120 legislators and a governor, and together we negotiate and we get to the finish line. And so I think that he's leaving a clue out there of the items that we need to negotiate. What's the dollar amount and who is eligible? I am a co-author of a bill that would give $400 back to all drivers for their cars out there. And that also becomes a starting point for negotiations as we're looking at how to give some relief to individuals at the pump out there. We're working fast. The budget is due June 15th, and we expect to have a solution and those blank spots that you're talking about figured out.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Do you like this idea? Do you not like this idea? Do you think employers would go for this? If you think about it, employers are having a really hard time keeping employees this year. In fact, if you look at this, last year in 2021, about 1 in 4 workers quit their job. Yeah, just think about that. 1 in 4 workers quit their job. So it is a massive, massive problem with keeping workers on the job right now. So this is something that could make workers much, much happier in their jobs, not having to work nearly as much and basically getting paid more to work there. And this is something that has been successful in other countries. And you think about especially over in Europe, this is the type of thing that has made workers feel more appreciated. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says that President Biden executive action or executive order on canceling student debt is, quote, still on the table. She says this here today. Check this out. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Friday said President Biden's use of executive action to cancel some federal student loan debt is still on the table, and that a decision could be made in the coming months or really at any given time. So this is something that could be done here at any given moment here. Jen Psaki made the comments during an appearance on the Pod Save America after being pressed about past comments by White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain. Um, that is by the past White House Chief of Staff underneath the former president. Yes, still on the table, still on the table, Jen Psaki says, could be heard to apparent cheers from the audience attending the live podcast, which was released today. She then pointed to the August 31st deadline for when the freeze on student loan debt payments and interest accrual is set to lapse, which they just extended, saying, quote, we have to decide whether it's extended, which it just was. So, it's been extended again here. She says, quote, nobody has had to pay a dollar, a cent, anything in student loans since Joe Biden has been president, Jen Psaki says. And if that can help people ease the burden of costs in other people in other parts of their lives, that's an important thing to consider. And that's a big part of the consideration. Remember that the average cost of student loans per person is about $400 per month or $5,000 per year. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Between now and the end of August, Jen Psaki said the moratorium is either going to be extended or we're going to make a decision, as Ron referenced, about canceling student loan debt. The current pause on federal student loan payments was first implemented under the Trump administration at the outset of the pandemic. It has now since been extended 6 different times and has provided basically a stimulus type of program relief to over 40 million Americans. 40 million Americans. Biden campaigned on calling for a federal student loan debt cancellation and has supported forgiveness of at least $10,000 per borrower for everybody. However, some top Democrats have pushed him to go beyond that, canceling up to $50,000 per borrower or wiping out federal student loan debt entirely. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, a Democrat from New York, has been advocating for $50,000 in student loan debt and signaled this Wednesday progress for his push in remarks and said, quote, I have talked personally to the president on this issue a whole bunch of times, and I have told him that this is more important than just about anything else that he can do on his own. He said here this week, says, quote, we're making progress, folks. We're making progress. The White House seems more open to it than ever before. Wow, that is very significant. So remember that about 1 in 6 adults have student loan debt. The president did cancel last year. I'll show this on the screen just so everybody can see this. This article directly here from Forbes, because whenever I mention this, some people don't believe it. You can look this up yourself. But $11.5 billion of student loan forgiveness was done last year in 2021. There has been several billion dollars of student loan forgiveness done this year. It's been mostly for people with permanent disabilities, people who had their colleges close on them or defraud them, or people in the public service student loan forgiveness program. But as you can see here, directly from Forbes, there was $11.5 billion of student loan forgiveness done last year and billions of dollars with it done this year. If you think you might be eligible, just go to Google, type in student loan forgiveness, and go to the studentaid.gov website. Make sure you go to the official studentaid.gov website, the official government website. And from there, you can go through some browsing, and you'll see here, are you looking for loan forgiveness or discharge forms? And you can kind of take some time to see, and you can see here in certain situations, you can have your federal student loans forgiven, canceled, or discharged. Learn more about the types of forgiveness and whether you qualify due to your job or other circumstance. But it might take you some time to see if you qualify. You know, it might take you some time to figure that out. But remember that Democrats are pushing for $10,000 to $50,000 of student loan forgiveness for everybody. And then just recently, Bernie Sanders was calling for the cancellation of all medical debt as well. Just a few weeks ago here, you can see the headline here directly from his Senate.gov page. Bernie Sanders, who's considered Joe Biden's right-hand man by some. Bernie Sanders calls for the cancellation of all medical debt and says that medical debt shouldn't even be a thing here in the country, that if you get sick, you can go bankrupt because you got sick. In fact, a lot of other countries in the world, medical debt isn't even a thing because you have health coverage by a right, by being a citizen of your country. Many, many other countries have that. So medical debt isn't even a thing in a lot of other countries. So Bernie Sanders is calling for the cancellation of all medical debt as well. And in fact, the three credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, have announced, as you can see here from literally all major news reports here announced a few weeks ago, medical debt to be removed from credit reports starting this summer. Depends on what type you have and stuff, but literally billions of dollars in medical debt will be removed from credit reports this summer because they're literally starting to recharacterize this, and medical debt could literally be wiped away here as literally the progressive movement on student loan debt, medical debt, and maybe even other types of debt like credit card debt, mortgage debt, and other types of debt could be forgiven here in the near future. Student loan debt kind of started it all, but it could, as we see the progressive movement here to kind of help people, has really kind of changed the way a lot of people think about debt and helping people. And remember, last year, $11.5 billion of student loan debt was done. There's been several billion dollars of it this year. The president has said he is willing to potentially do, or he would do, depending on how you take his wording in the past, of $10,000 per person, and then that also kind of leaves the question of what about other types of debt for other people, tax lien debt, medical debt, credit card debt, you know, all of that could be done here as well. We have literally Democratic leaders pushing for that as well, and that could be done here as well. You'd let me know your thoughts here on that. So I know some of this stuff seems like it could never be done, but people also thought that about student loan debt relief. So this is kind of interesting, and yeah, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here. So next up, let me show you here our special guest here on this happy Easter weekend. All right, let's say happy Easter.
Happy Easter! Happy Easter!
Yeah, do you know where we're going tonight?
When?
After we're done filming, we're going to Papa and Nana's and we're going to color Easter eggs.
On Easter Day?
Yeah. You want to color Easter eggs tonight?
Yeah!
Yay!
Let's do it on Easter Day!
Yeah, we're going to color Easter eggs tonight.
What? I put the bunny. Well,
Yeah.
I want a bunny next to Baby Yoda.
I know, but you were covering up the sign, so I had to move him.
I think it's that.
Okay, maybe we'll move him. What do you think of this little bunny? What's this little bunny's name?
Poop. He's got poop.
No, he's not called Pooh. All right, say we love you. Happy Easter.
Woo, 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 woo. And mention woo down below.
Huh?
Mention woo down below.
Make sure to subscribe down below.
No, mention the woo down below.
Happy Easter. God
Na,
bless.
na, 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 na.
And we'll see you in the next video.
We'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.